Hey guys, it's About Beer 30. Let's take a walk into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Thanks for joining this old man for a beer review. Today's beer comes from 903 Brewers, and Brandon C. down in Texas sent this to me. He had sent me several different versions of their beers. This one is a wee heavy. This is called Kilt Switch, and it's a big beer, guys. This is a 12 point. Let's see if it's written on the can here where I can see it. He's got his name over top of some of the information here. Well, it doesn't have the AB. It does have some food pairing. It says pairs well with Havarti cheese, smoked salmon, and Kiss and Nessie. I don't know what the hell that is. You better not be called Kiss and Nessie. Doesn't have the ABV on the can that I can see. Tells about the tours that they give and where they're located, but I don't see any information like that on there. It needs to be on there. If they're going to produce a 12+% beer, it needs to be written on the label somewhere so you know what you're buying, what you're drinking, guys. I will tell you that Beer Advocate has this at 12.9%, and Untapped also has it at 12.9% and 26 IBUs. There is no commercial description on Untapped for this beer, so it's a wee heavy, and it's a big wee heavy, an imperial version, if you will. 12.9%, that's almost 13%. Monster beer here, guys. This is when you want to drink at home or have a designated driver. You would not want to drink one of these and try to drive in this state, because if you go through a DUI checkpoint or get pulled over, one of these is enough to get you a DUI. I don't care a damn whether you're a 300-pound fat guy like me, but still, there's enough alcohol in your system at a 13% beer for one of these to get you in trouble, guys. Just drink responsibly. Don't want to see you get hurt or go to jail or hurt any innocent people or children. Just drink responsibly, guys. That's why I do all mine here. I ain't driving. I ain't gonna hurt nobody. I may hurt my head, but all I gotta do is stumble back in the bedroom, fall down. So just drink responsibly, guys. That's my public service announcement, if you will, for today. I expect the 903 Brewers to do some really tasty stuff. I expect this to be no less. So I expect this will be a very nice example of a great big wee heavy guy, Scotch ale. So that's all the information that I have here. Brandon sent this to me, and he didn't put anything in the notes about this beer, so we're on our own, I guess. So we shall see. Let's jump into it here, guys. Get it into the glass. We're going to pop the top, and there it goes, and into the glass we go with this one. While I'm pouring this, I will tell you the cheeses are buttery, brie, good Havarti Swiss. The meat is smoked meat and salmon. Glassware to pint, Becker, Nonic, tumbler, snifter, tulip. I got my favorite tulip glass here today, guys. And it says here can sell it for a long period of time, being almost a 13%er. I don't see why you could not. So, a great one to cellar. And if I remember correctly, these guys were dating their stuff, but I don't see anything on this. Maybe I'm wrong on that. So, would like to see something. Now, it doesn't have the ABV, doesn't have the IBUs, it doesn't have the date on it. Doesn't have any information on there that you need to have. So that's probably going to cost them a grade point, guys. They need to put something on there. Tell us something other than when the brewery tours are at. I mean, I understand you're going to do that, but tell us the ABV. Put a can-on date on it. That way we, you know, if you want to do a side-by-side with different vintages, you know what you got. If this is distributed, it could be sitting on a shelf, and a year later you pick it up. Oh, I ain't seen this before, and it'll be a year old. The beer's not going to be bad, but tell me more information. They're giving us nothing, absolutely nothing. So, got a problem with that, guys. All right. Hardly any head. Doesn't seem to be overcarbonated, but it might be a little undercarbonated. But you get to the 13 percenters, a lot of times you won't get a lot of head. I mean, it's big alcohol beer. So it is a nice, rich mahogany color. A little bit of light through the thin part of the glass down here. Good looking beer. It looks a lot like a barley wine, guys. Let's get a nose to it. Getting a roasted malt there. Got a very nice sweetness like a barley wine. Caramel, toffee. Maybe some slight hint of some dark fruit in there. Not getting any kind of chocolate notes or anything. The caramel and toffee and the maltiness is standing out more than anything else. Smells pretty good. Definitely has a nice sweetness to the back end, which reminds me of a barley wine. Big beer though. Great big beer. Almost it's kicking the door down on a 13%. Smells good, so let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. Very tasty. Very, very tasty. It's a nice change up. I don't buy a lot of wee heavies. I do enjoy that style. I do have some people like Brandon and others that send me these styles of beers. Excuse me. And they are a nice change up from what I typically drink, my go-to beers, if you will. And I do enjoy them. This is a very tasty example of that, guys. They're just so lackluster in the information they're providing us. To be honest about it, if this was distributed in Virginia and didn't have the ABV on the can and didn't have a can-on date, which is not critical, they could put the vintage on there. It's a 2018 edition. That would be enough for me. But they're giving us nothing. No ABV, no IBUs, and no can-on date. Evidently, it may be available on their website because Untappd has it at 26 IBUs, which is very low. That's what gives it that big sweetness. It doesn't have a super bitter taste to it at all. So it doesn't take a whole lot of hops to give 26 IBUs. So very well made beer. They're just got a lackluster on the information they want to provide to us, and I wish they would do better. 903 Brewers, like I said, they're not available here, and Brandon has sent me several different renditions and different styles from this brewer, and they do some really tasty stuff. It's just a shame that they choose not to give us any more information that they do. So this one's right out of the fridge, guys. Instead of me flapping my gums anymore about it, it is what it is. Let me sip on this for a while, let her taste it, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sitting on it about 45 minutes or so. The biggest fuss I got about this beer, guys, is the package that they're putting it in has no information at all. No ABV, no IBUs, or no can-on date. Or vintage. That's all we need on this one, is just the year that was put in the can. We get nothing. We get absolutely nothing. Decent beer, guys. It is a very well-made beer. I'm getting the maltiness. I'm getting the caramel and the toffee. Hints of dark fruit, raisin, plums, figs. Very easy drinking for an almost 13%. They can do better. They can do better, and they should do better. And like I said, if this was available here, I would probably not buy it, even though it's a very tasty beer, guys. I want more information than what they're giving us on this can. So, they need to step up to the plate and do the right thing. At least give us the vintage and the ABV on the can. So we know what we're buying, what we're drinking, what we're tasting. So you can make that educated purchase or decide whether you're drinking it at home or out. That's just how I feel. Just my 2 cents. Final chug. Very well done beer, guys. It's really a shame that we don't get a little more information than they're giving us. So, like I said earlier, it's going to cost them a grade point. I think this is an A beer in a B can. I'm going to give it a B plus. I'm going to give this an 80. What shall I give this? I'm going to give it an 86. Right at the bottom of the B plus scale. Because they choose not to give us any pertinent information that we need to have for this beer. So, if it had an ABV and the canned on date or the vintage somewhere on it, they would probably get into the A category. It is an A beer in a B can. So that's where I'm going to leave this. We're going to jump over to Beer Advocate. They say it's 4.17 in their exceptional range. I think it's an exceptional beer in a B package. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Over to Untapped. Untapped has it at 3.95. That's borderline between their B plus and A minus scale. So I usually don't consider their beers to be into the A category till it gets a 4, but you got to grade both of these sites on a curve because you never get a 5 from either one of them. For shits and giggles, I'm gonna say what I'm saying. It's a B plus beer, but just barely into the B plus range because of the lack of information that's on the can about the beer. So, if you've had this one from 903 Brewers, this is their Kilt Switch. I think it's a very, very tasty beer, and it would get into the A category if it had more information on the can than what I'm getting here. So, if you've had it, let me know what you think. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.